Just close your eyes. Know the peace within. You are the eternal observer, ever here, and you are yet to know the ever present eternity about yourself. At present, you are conscious of yourself as I amness without words. You are very much conscious of your presence just now. Your conscious presence is just now, and in your conscious presence, everything appears just now. Everything happens just now, including breathing. Everything functions just now. Here, every movement is fresh and new. Every action is fresh and new. Every object is fresh and new. Every form is fresh and new. The entire galaxy is just fresh just now. The whole universe is fresh happening just now. The whole world is appearing spontaneously just now. The entire duality show is spontaneously appearing just now, where in your conscious presence. First know that you are conscious of your presence here as I amness. Your I amness is known only through the conscious form. This form itself is happening just now out of the light of your consciousness by the play of the elements. Here, within this duality, entire manifestation is appearing, happening, functioning just now, where in your I amness consciousness. The total functioning of the galaxies, world, cosmos, whatever the term, all objects, whether living or non-living, they all appear just now, where in your I amness conscious presence. You never know that your consciousness is fresh forever. You never know the consciousness within you, the conscious presence within you, which is beyond words. You never settle in that state which is prior to words, prior to movements, prior to objects, prior to forms, prior to knowledge. Your conscious presence contains the seed of entire manifestation within just now. The seed is more alive just now within you. Here, everything is spontaneously happening out of the play by elements at an unexplainable speed just now, just now, just now. You can understand or know my statement only when you settle inwardly, prior to words, prior to knowledge. You are stuffed with more knowledge which is not you. Knowledge is only for utility and it is not you. But unknowingly, your conscious presence accepts the knowledge based on materials, based on movements to be real and to be itself also. So your conscious presence is stuffed with more knowledge and unable to know its original self-knowledge. Your conscious presence is beyond words just now. You know that you are just now. Without words, you don't require any words to emphasize your presence that you are here. No knowledge is required to know your conscious presence just now. You need not go and ask anyone whether you exist or not. Your conscious presence is self-evident. You know that you are. This knowledge is more than enough for you, more than sufficient for you to know what you are. You know that you are without words just now. But to know what you are, you have to settle in this state. So I am directly taking you to that state which is beyond words, which is beyond movements, which is beyond knowledge. But you seldom settle there. Again you come back to the knowledge level, word level, worldly level, and you refuse to know that state constantly within. So you are continuously trapped by the duality show. The self-knowledge is missing, though it is there inwardly. You are very much worried only about the knowledge, which is not you, but you refuse to know the self-knowledge within you, which is beyond words. To know what you are exactly. All the knowledge collected or known within this duality is not you, it is only based on the materials, matter, which is not you. You are not the matter, you are beyond matter just now. You are not the knowledge, you are prior to knowledge just now. This knowledge, what you have, is only for utility, it is not you. Since you are yet to know the self-knowledge within you, which is beyond words, you accept this collected knowledge to be yourself. So you suffer endlessly because you are accepting something which is not you as yourself. So I am now introducing the self-knowledge within you, which is prior to space, which is prior to words, which is prior to knowledge, which is prior to matter. This self-knowledge is not a movement. It is beyond movement. Truth is also not a movement. It is beyond movement. So by settling inwardly in this self-knowledge, which is prior to words, very easily your consciousness can wake up from this duality show and know what it is exactly at the non-dual level. Simply closing eyes is enough for you to realize what you are exactly. When your intention is only to know what you are, very easily at any moment you can get to know. Because the truth is ever present and it is also not moving, so that you can miss it constantly. You cannot miss it because it is ever there. It is unmoving. You can miss something which is moving, which may appear or disappear. How can you miss that one which never moves, which never changes, which is ever present? The absolute truth about yourself remains unknown to you because you are continuously running along with the movements and accepting all the knowledge to be yourself and accepting the object also to be yourself, not knowing the subject within you. So continuously throughout the waking state, you are missing your conscious presence. That's what I am emphasizing now. Your conscious presence is known just now without words as I amness. And in your conscious presence only, the entire episode of the duality show, the magical show, the manifested show, the dreamy show, the object level show is spontaneously going on. And every frame of the movies, every frame of the duality show is fresh, new, fresh, new, fresh, new. But you never find any freshness or newness in this duality show because you are burdened with memory which is not you. You are not the memory. If you are the memory, then who observes the memory? Where does the memory exist? Can the memory exist if you are not conscious? So you are prior to memory, prior to knowledge. This you will know only by going beyond knowledge, beyond words, beyond movement, beyond space. The entire space is filled with objects, filled with movements, filled with thoughts, emotions, feelings, objects. The entire show is going on at an unexplainable speed, just now within space. And the space itself is happening just now in your conscious presence as I amness. So instead of discussing about the duality show, which is not you, why not you focus attention on your conscious presence, which is beyond words, which is prior to words, which never moves, which neither changes, which never appears, which never disappears. You contain it round the clock. Still you miss it because you do not want to know what you are. Why? Because you accept the entire objects, the entire show, the form level identity within space to be yourself. So you are exactly in the middle of the dream, remaining tensed constantly, remaining frustrated constantly, remaining depressed frequently, because you never know that you are only observing the dream, you are only observing the duality show, and you are none of the duality show. You are yet to wake up consciously from this dreamy duality show because in your conscious presence only, the world is happening just now. The entire manifestation is happening just now. But you are never conscious of your presence without words. Note this point. In your conscious presence only, the entire duality is happening just now. Entire manifestation is happening just now. All objects appear and disappear just now. But you are never conscious of your presence. Without words, You do not know the state which is prior towards constantly. Very occasionally, you know the state for a few minutes, that's all. You never settle there, neither you stabilize there. You are more burdened with knowledge and words and stories. Then how can you know that state which is prior to knowledge, prior to matter, prior to space, prior to movement? The only option is to stay beyond words and observe silently. It looks simple, at the same time it looks a great challenge for you. At the personality level, here also again you are missing the self-knowledge within you. You are not a person. In your conscious presence only, the form appears just now. You are totally ignorant about your conscious presence. Without words, you are worried only about the words, or worried more about the knowledge, and the entire duality show what will happen, what should not happen, as if everything is real. So first you get to know what your conscious presence is, that you know that you are without words. Your consciousness is ever here. It is infinite. It is beginningless and endless. And it is prior to space. And you are already in that state which is prior to space. Once you settle down in that state which is prior to space, the space level show cannot affect you, the knowledge level show cannot affect you, the word level show cannot affect you, the object level show cannot affect you, the dream level show cannot affect you. You remain unbothered, cool, unconcerned about whatever that happened within this space, because you know that state now through the self-knowledge that you are already the non-dual, that you are already prior to the space, prior to knowledge, prior to words, prior to object. Just now. So to know your conscious presence, no word is required, and also to know the source of your conscious presence, no word is required. And to know the absolute truth about yourself, no word is required. And to wake up consciously from this perceived duality show, no word is required. So by stabilizing in that state which is beyond words constantly, very easily you can wake up. I go on give all the tips essential for you to remain wakeful, to be conscious of yourself, and also to know what you are exactly. Do you listen sincerely all these words? Do you listen to my statements sincerely? Had you listened to my teachings sincerely, you would have settled by this time in that wordless state, prior to knowledge, and you will remain unburdened, and you know the endless peace and the infinite joy within you constantly. Once you abide in the self-knowledge which is prior to words, you start knowing your unexplainable, indescribable joy and peace infinitely, which is within, eternally. Truth is non-dual and eternal. You are already in the non-dual state, but you are yet to know the eternal state, because you are never conscious of yourself. Moreover, you only observe the duality show in which you appear to be a form, but you accept yourself to be a form by accepting yourself to be a form within duality, though you are already in the non-dual state, you are continuously missing the eternity, the eternal beauty, the ever-present beauty, the ultimate beauty, the deathless beauty about yourself. You have never budged out of the non-dual reality. You are ever in the non-dual reality, and you are already prior to space and prior to form, prior to object, prior to movement, prior to words, prior to time. But you never know the secret about you, that you are already that. I go on tell that you are already that. You also go on listen as if I am telling a story about you. I am telling the absolute fact about you, that you are ever here, eternally here, and nothing has never happened to you. Do you listen to my statements sincerely? Then you will wake up at the earliest. You will not waste time here by roaming here and there in search of materialism or whatever it is. Because you start focusing attention on your inner being, which is ever here, which remains unexplored, because you are yet to be conscious of your presence without words. Throughout the waking state, in your conscious presence only, everything appears, everything happens, and everything disappears too. First, you know your presence as I amness without words. In your conscious presence without words, which is the stillness state, you are very much conscious of your presence. Once you settle in this conscious presence without words, you are already stabilizing in the non-dual state, which is your original state. Though you are in your original destination just now, you never realize it, because the moment your eyes are open, you are trapped by the duality show. That's why you are made to close your eyes, so that you can settle deeply within your non-dual reality. You are never separate from the source. You are never moving out of the truth. You are already the truth. But still, why you are unable to know your supreme truth? Because you never settle inwardly. You never know the non-dual reality. And whatever you describe, whatever you discuss, or whatever you debate about is only about the object level, movement level, time level, space level, manifested duality show, in which you also appear to be a certain shape and design. But your consciousness does not know that it is consciousness, and in its conscious presence only everything is happening just now. But for your consciousness, there is no thing here. This your consciousness is yet to realize. Because unknowingly it is accepting itself to be the form, not knowing that only out of your consciousness everything is happening just now. Whatever the term, namely world, cosmos, galaxies, universe, all manifestation within space, including space. I tell you, you are never budging out of the truth. You are already in the truth, and already in the absolute truth. Eternally you are in the absolute truth. Only by closing eyes and knowing the stillness, you get to know the exact truth about your eternity beyond birth and death. But you never settle inwardly. With eyes open, you are trapped by the story level, form level, object level show. The moment you open your eyes, space is created just now. In this space, all objects are created just now simultaneously. So immediately you are perceiving the world around you in your conscious presence. Since you do not know your conscious presence, which is without words, you are trapped by the duality show, which happens out of your conscious presence. So continuously you are trapped by the show to be real, to be real, to be real. Once you accept the unreality as real, how can you wake up and know the reality about yourself? That's why you are made to close your eyes here throughout the session, so that you are able to settle inwardly, stabilize inwardly, and get to know that state which is beyond words. Just now you know the stillness within. It is ever here. You know that you are without words, and this conscious presence is ever here. Once your consciousness settles in this state without words, it merges totally in the source of awareness, because it is free from the movement level of the duality show. So now you cannot describe about the duality show. Once your eyes are closed, you are free from the show. The moment you are free from the show, now you can settle down inwardly to know the non-dual reality. With eyes open, again you are into the show. With eyes closed, you start knowing the reality about you. First, know the reality within, which is beyond movement and beyond words, and beyond appearances and disappearances. Then, with eyes open, you can perceive the world joyfully, peacefully, because nothing affects you. Because already you have known the reality about your conscious presence. Without knowing the reality about your conscious presence, here you are continuously trapped by the reflections of your conscious presence as world, cosmos, universe, whatever the term. So the only possibility for you to remain peaceful and joyful endlessly, and to know your eternal, indescribable beauty endlessly, you need to settle in that self-knowledge which is beyond words, which is beyond space, and get to know the peace and joy within. Now you start knowing the non-dual reality. Settle here, even with eyes open. Settle here and perceive the world. Here settling means staying beyond words. You are already beyond words, but through words you are again trapped by the movements of the show. When you do not use words and simply observe, you are not trapped by the movement of the show, duality show. Simply by closing eyes. Now you know the peace and joy. Initially you know only peace, then you will know the joy also along with peace. The more you settle inwardly, you start knowing the joy also. This peace and joy is more than enough for you. Since you do not know the peace and joy inwardly, you are trapped by the outward duality show endlessly and remain depressed or frustrated, whatever the term. Once you start knowing the inward endless beauty about yourself, which is eternal, which is neither born nor can die, you are in indescribable nectar state. You are the only truth. That state cannot be expressed or explained. You are the pinnacle of the truth. Get to know the highest truth about yourself first, then you can know how to handle this duality show, whether it is real or unreal. And the entire duality show is happening just now, just now in your conscious presence. There's nothing called past or nothing called future, which is time oriented. Even the present itself is a questionable thing. You only observe whatever the movement is, whatever the object is, whatever the happenings are. You only observe. Now you observe the peace within, you observe the stillness within. In the same way, without identification, without words, observe the world with eyes open, observe the duality show with eyes open, observe the entire manifested show with eyes open, without words, without identification. At any moment, your consciousness can wake up from this ever moving, ever changing duality show, which is not real, and it realizes its eternity beyond duality, the non dual reality, the indescribable eternal beauty. First, know your conscious presence without words and wake up consciously to realize that you are already that. You are already the supreme truth. I am here always beyond words to help your consciousness to realize its highest truth, that it is eternally here, ever here, and it is prior to birth and death concept of the dream level duality show. At least now, imbibe my teaching sincerely. It is expounded exclusively to wake up your consciousness. By listening to this statement sincerely, at any moment your conscious presence can be known without words, and you can settle in that state without words, and you can wake up totally also from the entire duality show to know your eternal, non-dual, endless beauty, beyond divisions, beyond duality. Better wake up consciously and know what you are exactly.